Well, thank you so much, Bill, and thank you, Jenny. It's wonderful to be here today and to add on to yesterday's announcement about delivering affordability assistance for Australian families when they need it from the 1st of January next year, in stark contrast to this government who have gone years and years without delivering a thing. We also know that the issue about accessibility has been left on the sidelines, completely ignored by this government, who, even if their childcare reform package comes into effect finally in 2 years' time, still offers absolutely nothing to address accessibility and waiting lists. Now, let's be clear. This is something that Australian parents are grappling with across the country. This is something that is affecting right now, today, people's ability to return to work. But this is also something which adds to the inflationary nature of childcare fees. It is simple supply and demand. We know that if there are not enough places, then there is pressure on fees to increase. Labor has a plan to address that. What we're announcing here today is an investment of $100 million to expand services and add new places in areas of very high need. We've already heard that the service we meet in today, this fantastic service here in Ivanhoe, has a 3-year waiting list. Now, what that means in practice is that when a parent calls to ask if there's a place for their child, they're told that there might be a place for the next child that is born to that family. Now, clearly, that is not good enough for Australian families. Labor will invest in the areas and neighbourhoods that need it, in ensuring that the places are there for families to access and to return to work. But I want to turn to another forgotten part of the childcare sector, and that is outside school hours care. If you actually have a look at what is acting as one of the biggest barriers against workforce participation, it's a lack of places when it comes to outside school hours care. There are many parents who are seeking to return to the workforce, but as a result of the fact that there are no places for their children after the school bell goes, they are having to turn down job offers and opportunities. That is because we know that the Australian workforce today doesn't finish when the school bell rings at 3 o'clock. That is why we need to invest in outside school hours care. Today we're announcing a plan to expand up to 1,200 outside school hours care places across Australia to establish thousands of additional places so that we know that thousands of additional parents can return to the workforce. These are all very important measures. We are very proud that they are part of our positive plan for childcare, that they build on the announcements that we made yesterday to increase affordability through the increased childcare rebate cap and increase to the childcare benefit. I also just want to reiterate one part of yesterday's announcement, which is incredibly important when it comes to affordability in this country. Let's be clear that the government have absolutely no plan to limit the out-of-pocket costs of Australian parents. Even if their reform package, which has been a mirage for years and years, one day comes to fruition, there is nothing in it to limit the out-of-pocket costs for Australian parents. Well, Labor knows that we need to make sure that taxpayer dollars are going towards assisting Australian families, not into boosting the profits of our childcare providers. And that's why yesterday we announced new measures to put downward pressure on childcare fees. Just quickly to run through all of this. This includes mandatory fee reporting. It also includes independent price monitoring. We will be asking the ACCC to look at monitoring our prices so that we can ensure that we can see any unjustified price increases and any price gouging that occurs within the sector. To add to this, there will be new investigation and compliance powers given to the Department of Education. What this means is that when we see unjustified price increases, there will be consequences and there will be compliance actions, and those actions can be as severe as cutting a childcare services government assistance altogether. We also know that parents want transparency and accountability, and we will also be establishing a new complaints hotline. Only Labor will act to put downward pressure on fees and ensure that parents are accessing more affordable childcare. We're not just limiting the amount that government invests in the sector. We're very proud of all of these announcements, particularly the announcements today on waiting lists and outside school hours care.